rumors that they're taking people away from Auschwitz. And I said, I have to go. I said, do you want to join me? They said, yeah, lead us. So in the morning, early in the morning, we were going towards a certain location there, and Mengele again was there. And I said, oh my God. And he looked at us, there were the 4 girls, me and my mom, and he said at my mom, who's this Scheisse? That in English is, who is that shit, pardon me for saying that. And the girl said, that's unser Mutti, this is our mama. Now he said, geh mal. Geh mal means go. And we went, and at that time the trucks were ready. They took us to Bremerhaven. Bremerhaven is a port city in Germany that was bombarded by the English army at that time. And what we did, our job was there, that we cleaned the roads, we cleaned the toilets, we cleaned the backyards. They used to take us with trucks to the city. The camp was about, I would say, maybe 20, 30 miles away from the city. But it was okay. We were not afraid that they're going to kill us with cyanide. At least we survived. They gave us a little bit of food, and it was okay. I mean, I felt it was okay because I wasn't mesmerized by the killing, in Auschwitz. Now, this was going on till April the 1st, 1945. And I remember, like now, a few days before that, I was at work. See, my mother didn't go to work because, they sort of asked her to clean the camp and all that, and I was happy that she doesn't have to go because it would be very hard for her. And then I heard rumors, the guy there that took us to Bremen said, there was a big, the English army bombarded the camp, and half of the camp disappeared. I said, what do you mean disappeared? Oh, he said, half of the camp was killed. I said, oh my God, I hope not my mom. Oh, please, God, don't do that to me. And we went back. I cried all the way because I was so scared that maybe my mom died too. And again, God made a miracle. My mom stood at the entrance of the cabin there, and she said, Sally, I'm here, don't worry, I'm here, because she knew that I might hear the news and I get very upset. So my mother was alive. So that was another miracle for me, a great miracle. Now, April the 1st, 1945, came a big order that the camp in Bremen's going to be all shut off, and we're going to Bergen-Belsen. Now, Bergen-Belsen was a dead camp. It was about, I would say, 60, 70 miles away from Bremerhaven. It was a horrible dead camp. I remember like now when we came there was a big, big pit, 50,000 dead bodies. And I stood and I cried and I said, please, God, help us, don't kill us, please. And we were there every day. It was horrible. They used to take us around and they used to shoot people. And I remember there was a guy that used to live next door in the lodge. And every day, I met him there. And he said, oh, Sally, you here? And I said, yeah. So every morning for 10 days that we were there, actually 2 weeks, because I was liberated April 15, 1945. He used to see me, and he used to talk to me, and he said, Sally, I'll see you tomorrow. Stay well, stay well. And I said, okay. Well, one day, he didn't come about. And I said, there were some other boys that knew him well. I said, where's Robert? And he said, Robert? Oh, he got killed last night. They shot him. So I said, oh my God, there's another tragedy. And then over the 2 weeks that we were there, there was hardly any food, and I was so weak. I couldn't walk. Can you believe it? I was a girl at that time, 12, 14 years old. I couldn't walk. And there were rumors in the camp that if you go down and lay down, put your ear to the ground, you can hear the tanks rolling. The English army was coming in. I said, I have to go and see if I can hear it. And I went down. I walked on all fours, and I put my ear to the ground, and I could hear noise, like, the tanks are rolling. Oh, my God. Then my mom came out, And she said, Sally, I'm going to get a potato for you because the Germans stored potatoes in big, big mountains covered with burlap. And there was a big field and there were mountains of potatoes there. She ran to grab a potato for me. I said, Ma, don't go. No, she said, I'm going to go. I'm going to grab a couple of potatoes for you. It's like, that'll save your life. And she went, and on the way, a SS guy, a soldier, said to her, what are you doing here? She says, oh, I just got up to walk. And he said, no, you can't do that, and hit her with a rifle over her head. By the time she came back to me, the blood was flowing like water. And I said, oh my God, no. What should I do? What I do for my mother to save her life? Please, God, help me. And God made another miracle for me. I took a piece of my burlap dress that I wore, tore off a piece. There was a latrine very close by. A latrine is an outdoor toilet. I dipped that piece of cloth in the toilet and wrapped around my mother's head. And believe it or not, urine has acid, and it stopped my mother's bleeding right away. And believe it or not, about 50 minutes later, the English Army tanks start rolling, and I went over on all fours. I crawled on all fours, and I kissed the boots of a English soldier. And then a guy came down from the tank and said to me, can I help you, young lady? He spoke Polish to me. He said, I'm a doctor. I said, please come take a look at my mother. And he said, oh my God, what did you do? And I told him. He said, you know, my child, you're a genius. How did you know that that would save your mother's life? And from then on, believe me, I'll never forget that. Of course, my mother was taken. The English Army came in, took over the camp. And my mother went to the hospital. She had typhus for 6 months. I thought she'll never survive, but she survived. And a lot of people died because what happened then, that they gave them a lot of food, and because for 4.5 years our stomach was very, very little food every day, the stomach couldn't, sort of, how should I say, work with that food in your body, and a lot of people died from that. And when the English Army came in and they found 50,000 bodies in that pit, plus other bodies that they killed over the 2 weeks that we were there, you know, some of the soldiers really, I mean, they were crying like babies. It was horrible. And then they opened out a DP camp in Bergen-Belsen, and people would start looking for people, maybe you know this one, maybe you know that name, this name, and of course, you know, I never found anybody. Then I met my husband there, and the rest is history. But when I talk to Christian children about the Holocaust, I always tell them that you have to be very tolerant of one another. If it's creed, it's color, it's religion, it doesn't matter. We're all the same. Our blood flows in our veins. We go down the same way, come up the same way. So if you're tolerant about other people and, get along well, it'll never happen. But, I said, it could always happen again because we have a lot of killings, like horrible, like Rwanda and Darfur and all this. There was, in 1915, the killing of the Turkish with the Albanian. Nobody even remembers it. Because when I look back and I think in the future, there's so many deniers, we wouldn't be around forever. They said, well, the Holocaust never happened because it just never happened. The Jews concocted a story because they wanted people to be sorry for them. So I always say to the young children that I teach them, please, be very tolerant. There's only one God in heaven, doesn't matter what you call him. So please, be tolerant and don't be harsh on other people. And this is life, so I hope it'll never happen again. And of course, I could never forget it. It's all with me all my life till my end. But God bless you all. Thank you.